Possibly the most important thing you can do as an SDR is be disciplined. Now, look, discipline equals freedom. If you watch the mindset module on discipline equals freedom, you already know what this is about. But basically, what this means is the more disciplined we are about life, the better we eat, the more we work out, the more we manage our time, we actually have more freedom. Because if you eat well, you're not going to be obese and you're not a slave to being obese. If you work out, you're going to have more freedom to be active and to keep up with your kids and to live longer. There's freedom in being disciplined. If you manage your time well, you might feel very restricted and rigid about your calendar, but because you're doing that and getting stuff done, what you need to get done, then you're actually opening up a lot more freedom throughout the rest of your calendar to actually unplug and actually relax. So, this concept of discipline equals freedom is so important. And the way that this shows up in your SDR role is through your daily workflow calendar. I don't know if I can stress this enough. The most important indicator for success as an SDR that I have seen managing over 60 SDRs, my high performers all did one thing consistently. They were consistent. They were disciplined. They got in, they did the right things every single day, regardless of the outcomes. And because of that, they saw the fruit. This is biblical, y'all. Jesus says, if you make a tree good, the fruit will be good. But if you make a tree bad, the fruit will be bad. What is he saying? He's saying if you put good things into something, if you put good seed into good soil, then good trees will grow, and those good trees will grow good fruit. Oftentimes in sales, we are on such a short gratification timeline. We think that, oh, I had like a very disciplined day, but I didn't book any meetings. I did all my calls, I went above and beyond, I put more effort into this, but I didn't book any meetings. I must be doing something wrong. Do not fall for that trap. Believe Jesus when he says, if you do good inputs consistently, the fruit will come. Even the Bible says that it's not our job to bring the increase of stuff. It's our job to water and sow. It's our job to do the inputs, but if the inputs are good, we can trust that the increase, the fruit, will be good as well. So, if you do one thing as a result of all this coaching, all this training, it needs to be being disciplined about your calendar and sticking to your time blocks. Because if you can do that consistently every single day, it's not a matter of if you'll succeed, it's a matter of when. Because you can only do something so well, you can only do the right thing so many times before it pays off and you're successful. So, that being said, let's equip you with a daily workflow template that's going to help you structure every single day, every single minute of your day, so that you can get in and get out of this SDR role as fast as you can by becoming excellent and by crushing quota. So where we're going to start, this is actually from Chris Ritson. He put together a great daily schedule outline, very simple but practical, and I want to show you what this looks like. So most important currency is time. Better you use it, the better your results, right? Like think about Elon Musk. He's made multiple billion-dollar companies. And whenever I hear someone say, well, I don't have time, I'm like, Elon Musk didn't have time, right? But it's all about what you prioritize. So the main components of time management for you as an SDR are first your sessions, where you're spending your own solo time. So you should be finding great prospects, adding them to the right sequence, doing the messaging, right? All the steps in your sales engagement platform, testing and tweaking your outreach, your messaging, doing the admin stuff, like you book a meeting, you're updating Salesforce, you're responding to people in Slack, and then self-enablement. Those are the 6 categories where you should be spending your time. If you're doing anything that falls outside of these, you're only delaying your success and therefore delaying your promotion to be on the SDR role. You have to care more about your success than anyone else does. Because at the end of the day, you go home with you at the end of the day and your head hits your pillow at the end of the day. So you have to be the person that cares more about your success than anyone else around you. So if you have to put iron walls around you of, hey, I'm locked in, I'm serious, so be it, because your family is depending on you. I got judged in my first SDR job because I was so locked in on my work. I wasn't there to socialize. I wasn't there to make friends. Can you be friendly? Yes. Can you laugh and build relationships? Yes, that's very important. There's a whole training module we have on how to be a good teammate. But I got judged because I was so serious about my work. Well, I got promoted in 9 months, and there were people in that role for 2 years, even after I was promoted. And so the point is if you don't take yourself seriously, no one else will. So take this seriously. Lock in. So this is where you should be spending your time. Now, the other place where you're going to interact with other people, sitting in on discos and demos with your AE, that's a really good learning opportunity. That's preparing you to be an AE. Your one-on-ones with your manager, of course, connecting with your manager. Team trainings, right? You might have like, hey team, we're going to do role plays this week or whatever, that kind of stuff. And then company meetings, all hands, updates, all that kind of stuff. Anything else on your calendar needs to go because it's not going to make you more successful. All right? The number one priority is always your own work. Everything else is additional to that. The more you spend executing, the better you'll be. So this gets into what your calendar should actually look like. Your day should be so dialed in that you know exactly what you're doing at all points throughout it. So in this case, first thing you should be doing is your admin, right? So do your daily prep. Make sure you're going into your day, you know what meetings you have, you know you're going to be able to execute on your call blocks. There's no like company meeting that's at the same time your call block was. So now you have an excuse, oh, I'm not going to make my calls. No, none of that. Start your day off on the right foot by getting set up. Then you're going to have your activity blocks with a target next to it, okay? There's another training module. You probably already saw it, but when you're cold calling, you should have specific metrics tied to each call block. Same with email blocks. If you have to add 20 new prospects per day, cool. Make one block that is an hour long for 15. Make the other one for 5. Maybe the other 5 are hyper personalized. I don't know. Point is, tie a metric to it. Then self-enablement. Now you can play around with this. Don't be so rigid. For example, your call blocks, you want to put when the highest connect rates are. So talk to your manager, see if you can get the connect rate heat map of when the most connects are. Put your call blocks during those times, right? So you don't need to follow this to a T in terms of when the actual blocks are, but it's more about your calendar needs to look like this, no doubt. Self-enablement, like for me personally, I wouldn't want to do that in the middle of my day. My brain would hurt. I'd probably do that like at the end when my brain's slower or earlier before the day starts. Lunch, discipline equals freedom. When you see an hour lunch break, you might think, oh no, how am I going to get my work done? If you're disciplined and if you actually do these blocks here, yes, you can enjoy an hour lunch. Otherwise, you're going to have a 30-minute lunch and be scrambling and just finish eating. And then you have to like burp and stuff and you're on a call and it's too much. If you're actually disciplined about how you spend your time, you're going to have time for an hour lunch. You're going to be able to walk outside, go walk your dog, get some sun in your eyes, go hug your kids. I don't know. Point is if you're disciplined, you can enjoy lunch. Come back, do the rest of your activities, right? Call block, LinkedIn block, research block. Notice all of these have targets tied to them. Always have the targets tied to them. Gamify it. And then last is getting prepared for the next day. If an SDR logs in for a day of work and they don't know what they're doing that day, they already lost. Things move way too quickly in the SDR role for you to come unprepared. So the worst thing you can do is not plan the next day. And that's why, honestly, when you set these up, you should set up recurring invites to yourself. And these events should be recurring events so that your calendar is always the same no matter what. And then if you need to flex it around because there's a team meeting here or something here, it's pretty easy to do that on the fly. But the best thing I would do is set up your workflow calendar, get this set up, and then as you go through the first few days of it, the first 2 weeks of it, you'll notice like, hey, I really don't like doing my self-enablement in the middle of the day. I'm going to move it up here. Or hey, I like doing lunch earlier. I'm going to move it here. You'll be able to start to manipulate it so that it's perfect for you. But start with something. And I'm going to give you a template to follow in a second. So now you're prepared for the next day. Now tomorrow, when you go into work, you don't have to worry about like, crap, what prospects am I going to reach out to? You're just going to be able to get right to work because you did it the day before. You're good to go. Also, finding and adding prospects is more of a mindless task than cold calling is. So for me and for most people, I think by the end of the day, our brain is like tired, and it's just easier to do your contact adding when your brain's more tired. It's more laid back of an activity. You're not cold calling people. So having that at the end of the day is wise. And then end your day with admin. Again, I'm a big stickler on inbox zero and Slack zero. What that means is don't leave a bunch of notifications and unread emails and stuff like that. Carve out time in your day to act on that stuff. Get in a disciplined behavior of keeping your inbox at empty email because you've followed through on everything, or the only emails in there should be follow-up items for you to do the next day, right? I've never met a successful person, like business success, that is actually crushing it as an SDR or in business, in sales. I've never met anyone that has a terrible inbox with 360 unread messages, because you can't let stuff fall through the cracks. So make sure you're carving out time at the end of every day to go through and clean everything up for the day, so that when you log in the next day and you're doing your admin stuff, you're not fighting yesterday's battles. You're already moved into a new day, fresh slate, ready to go. I'm telling y'all, if you can do this, you will be a successful SDR. This is discipline though. It's hard to do. It's simple, but it's hard to stick to. If you can, you will crush quota. Now, to give you a more practical look of what this actually looked like for my SDRs at my last company, I had laid out this template here. So at the start of their day, the first thing they need to do is clean up their email inbox. And remember, if you clean it up the day before, there's not going to be much in there. But the whole idea is you're starting your day with a clean slate. Then you need to clear out any leads that you're supposed to be on top of. For example, if you have marketing leads and you have to reach out to them by a certain time, cool, jump on those leads. Any leads, any opportunities that need to be cleaned up, like anything that you're responsible for keeping at zero every day, jump on first thing in the morning. Then go into Slack and clean up your Slack messages. Make sure your table is set for the day. Next thing you're going to do is check your calendar. Make sure your time blocks are clear. Again, if we look at this, if I had this call block on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I had a company meeting that was blocked over that, now I know, okay, I need to move that call block. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it, because in our heads, it's so easy to be lazy. And if I go, well, I had a team meeting, I'll make up for it later, you're not going to do that. So part of you going into your morning is making sure your time blocks are clear. Then you also want to look at whatever meetings you have coming up that day from a demo perspective. Like if you booked a meeting with a prospect, you need to know, okay, I've got 2 meetings that are supposed to happen today, and then go through, did I make sure they're going to show up? Do I have confirmation of that? And does my AE know? Do they have the notes or the pre-call context needed to go in there prepared? Maybe you shoot your AEs a message. Hey, so-and-so, you have 2 meetings today. Here's the details one more time. They both confirm they're going to show up. I'll be there too. Excited to see you, right? Maybe you do something like that. But that way, the thing you get paid for, you're making sure is going to happen, right? Then the third thing is, before you transition into your activity mode, because this is all prep mode, the last thing you have to do to prepare is get your head ready and get your workspace ready to go execute on the tasks, right? So don't roll into your cold calling with like 5 other active things, like, oh, I was supposed to like follow up with this person and update this Salesforce record. No, help yourself out and just go in clean, go in simple. What that means is take 15 minutes to reduce all your notifications, to go through your tabs, to declutter, clean up your space so that your brain can just one track mind, go do your tasks. That's it. You're also going to take a moment to prepare any prospecting tabs you need open. Like, for example, LinkedIn. You don't want to be on a call trying to load LinkedIn because you didn't prepare beforehand and have it preloaded, right? So open up all the tasks you need during your activity blocks, so that open up all the tabs so that they are preloaded and ready to go. Now, you're prepped. You're ready to go. Pretty simple, right? Go do your leads, like go do your tasks, right? And so I don't know how your company's going to have it structured, but make sure you're approaching your tasks in priority order in terms of timeliness. So if you have webinar leads, marketing leads, inbound leads, make sure you're doing those first, right? Then cold outbound can come after. So execute. You should be tired after that activity block, so go take a lunch, right? Walk away, get some food, get some sunlight. One thing I've seen is it's very easy to work through lunch because I'm busy, I'm behind on quota, whatever. It's just like sleep though. If you don't get sleep, yeah, it can help you that day get a little more done, maybe 3 more hours of work done, but you're going to be hurting the next 2 days because you're low on sleep. And so, as hard as it is, just like sleep, make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're actually taking lunch because you will burn out. You can get away with it for 2, 3 days, but then after that, you're going to hate the week you had. You're going to roll into next week with just off. And then you're going to be like, why am I doing this? Like, this is a lot of work. Point is please protect yourself, protect your mind, and take lunch and get some sunlight. Cool. So when you come back from lunch, it's again time to go into your activities, right? Go through all your activities. In this case, for my team, we had specific leads they had to follow up with, like lead sources. So I helped them prioritize, hey, before lunch, do these, after lunch, do these. And I had them all hyperlinked here so you can do the same thing. And then end of day, prepare for tomorrow. Clean out your email inbox, clean out Slack messages, review time blocks tomorrow to make sure they're clear. And here is an example of me as a manager, what my calendar looked like. Again, so your calendar should look like this. Setting this up is actually really easy, so I'll show you how to do that. So this is my calendar here. As you can see, the discipline of time blocking has stayed with me from my SDR days. It's what helps me run 3 businesses at once, have a wife, a life, kids, all the things, and stay healthy and on the path. So time blocking will definitely be a discipline that you implement the rest of your life once you get the hang of it. But making calendars is easy. So what you do is you will have your main calendar already just by default of like you having a profile at work. So if I turn off my sword calendar, all this stuff goes away. But what you can do to help yourself time block is these meetings are all with people. So I know, okay, the dark colored meetings are people. Those are real meetings. What I like to do is make a workflow calendar. So let me show you how to do that. Very easy. You just come down here to other calendars, create a new calendar. You can call it whatever you want. Time block, workflow. I'll go with workflow. And we'll go ahead and make that calendar. And I like making the calendar a different color, a lighter color, so that I just visually know when I look at my calendar that they're not in-person meetings. So for example, let's say at, I don't know, 10 to 10:45 every day I was going to do a call block. Now remember, very important with our call blocks, we always want a metric, right? So let's say 30 calls or 1 meeting booked, right? Whatever that is. What you do is you pick the calendar down here and you select workflow. So it's not on your main work calendar. It's a different calendar. And then we'll say like, hey, let's repeat because every weekday I want to do a 45-minute call block. Cool. So I hit save and voila, you can see that now. And it is a different color, which helps me just at a glance see, okay, the dark meetings are with people. The light meetings are my own time. Heck, we could even make it more obvious. Like let's say yellow is my own time to do my own work. And then one other thing you can pay attention to is busy or free. So if you want to hard block your calendar so no one can even book in with you during those times because you're disciplined, use the busy. But if you want people to be able to book over you despite having, call blocks and stuff, just change it to free. Okay. So that is how you make the workflow calendar. So I could say call block, and then I could say like prospecting, let's say 20 prospects, right? So the next 45 minutes, I'm going to spend prospecting, workflow calendar, repeat every weekday, save, boom. And eventually you'll have your whole day built out step by step by step by step. I hope it encourages you to see that, again, me years later as a business owner, am still using the same techniques here. So that being said, that's how you set this up. My last encouragement to you would be don't be so rigid that you're actually unproductive because your time blocks are telling you to do something that isn't actually beneficial. be fluid as you set this up and be having an eye for, okay, I know I'm going to set this up. It's probably not going to be the perfect workflow, but it's a start. Have an eye for how can I optimize it? When do I actually want to do these things? When is the best time to do these things? And then you can start to play around with it. So in a 3 or 4 week span, your workflow calendar should be dialed in, should be perfect, and you should never question again what you should be doing during your day. This is going to help you promote fast. Remember, the SDR role is like the 800 meter. A lot of people don't take it seriously and they take 2 years to promote. You don't need to do that. If you can dial in, take it seriously for a period of a year to 18 months, you'll get promoted and move forward. It's just a year of intense discipline and sacrifice to then move forward and hit new heights.